Hello lovelies, Raw Danger Fox here. I am gonna continue with what if Deku was an enderman, and I'm sorry about the last post. The video kind of got corrupted at the end part, and if you guys were confused about that, I will explain that very briefly, very quickly right now. Basically, on the way to the physical exam, people were mainly staring at Deku because he's an enderman, but the thing that weirded them out and also kind of captivated them to make them look at Deku is his markings of actual human skin. It was mainly everything of Deku looks like an enderman except for patches of his body. Like Deku's wearing a sleeveless sweater and shorts, and there was like patches of skin, like beautiful skin on Deku, like the patch on his eye. Well, you could barely see because he's wearing the glasses. The patch on his arm, his hand, and his knee. Those are the ones I mainly said right now, but there's way more, but they're spread around everywhere. So, tada. And basically, people are kind of nervous, but also not, because Deku's giving off a feeling of warmness, basically a gentle. Deku mainly feels, the feeling that people are getting off of Deku are a gentle feeling. So they're normally calm, but also anxious, because Deku is an Enderman, and Endermen are known for attacking people. And when they got to the physical exam, they see Deku start stretching his arms and legs. Because you know Deku is ready to pick up something. And so Ito was about to go up to him, but he decided not to because it's an Enderman and no one wants to mess with an Enderman when it's mad. And the way that Deku give a letter to Ida literally just made Ida feel like, yeah, he's mad. I ain't talking to him. So basically, Deku ends up getting a full stretch, and when President Mike said, "There's no count-ons in a real situation like this. Go, go, go." Deku grabs a dirt block. Actually, no, there's no dirt. Actually, yeah. Deku runs in. And because of his quirk, matter manipulation, and his Enderman abilities, Deku is able to move faster and get more points because as he clicks a button on the sunglasses, he makes the robots look like humans and the students look like Enderman. And Deku rips the robots in half, one by biting the head of the robot and grabbing both arms and ripping them out, as Deku just shakes his head with the robot's head in the mouth, mainly making Deku look like a ravaged animal. But then he realized he could let go and blah. The robot's head got stomped on by Deku. Deku eventually goes on to get 2 pointers, 3 pointers, 1 pointers, and he got a normal good score. It wasn't top notch, but I would say he's under Kirishima, and Kirishima was Bakugo was first, Kirishima was second, so Deku is under Kirishima, so he's in third right now. Deku gets a good amount of points, and when he sees, everything starts shaking, and he starts feeling more anxious for some reason. And people are getting this feeling okay, something's not right, until Deku looks behind him and he sees a giant robot. Then he remembers that President Mike said that is the 0 pointer. So Deku said, oh, so that's why he said it's an obstacle. And do not, you could attack it, but it won't give you any points. Because it's massive. No one's gonna threaten on attacking that. And that's what Deku basically says in his mind. And Deku eventually finds a dirt block close to where he is right now and grabs it and changes the matter in it to make it look like a sword. But since it's still dirt, he is still able to pick it up. But the durability is pretty weak. As people look at this in astonishment because Deku made the dirt shapeshift into either a sword or a knife. And it's a big knife. And he hears someone scream for help as he looks under and sees Hold on. Sorry about that. Deku sees a girl, but well, in actuality, it's Uraraka. But what Deku sees, it's an enderman in trouble. In this case, an enderwoman. Deku teleports to her and lifting the rubble and saying go, but it goes out and saying hey. As Uraraka looks in there confused, but Deku mainly thinks, oh shoot, I just remember. There's no actual enderman here, so I actually have to struggle. Shit. And that's what Deku thinks. And he just lifts up one of the rubble with one of his arms, and he's struggling. You could see him struggling. As the giant zero pointer gets closer and closer, Deku lifts up the rubble as much as he can, grabs Uraraka by her arm, and grabs her and pulls her out. Eventually, Deku grabs the rubble with both hands and decides, instead of using the sword to attack the robot, he uses the rock, the boulder, and Deku picks it up, struggling, and then tosses it into the zero pointer's face, destroying several of its eyes as he picks up Uraraka and starts running, like he uses up his Enderman magic. I'm gonna say that, but I'm pretty sure Endermen are very good at running. Actually, yeah, they're really good at running. Because if you attack them, then they are fast. Jesus. And Deku is like running, and then he sees a guy with blue hair, and he says, hey, again, like trying to get his attention. As Ida looks at him and sees, okay, he gives Uraraka to Ida and takes the sword that he was holding and teleports into the head of the robot and slashes the other eyes out as quickly as he can. And then jumps away, and then before he jumps away, he stabs the robot in the neck with the sword, but that's when the sword broke, so he only had the hinge, which is basically I forgot what it is, the thing that where you grab on the sword. I forgot the name, sorry. As he hears, okay, that's enough. Okay, timer is done. If you did not get enough points today, I'm sorry, but then you have to wait till the next time the entrance exam is capable ongoing. As some students think, okay, we have either good enough points or shoot, I did not get enough points to get in, I might not get in at all. Deku thinks, okay, I think I have enough points to get in, as he again walks over to Ida and Uraraka and says, hey. But what Deku sees is two Endermen. But then he does keep in mind that they are human. But I need to say something else. So Deku is continuously saying hey, but he's mainly asking, is she okay? Until Deku reminds himself that he has a book and pencil with him in the side of him. So he picks them up and writes on them. And it shows them to Uraraka and Ida. And Ida reads it and says, Uraraka says, yeah, I'm fine. It's just my ankle. But since Deku kinda understands human lingo, but he cannot speak it. So that's a problem for Deku. And Deku just gives her a thumbs up and says, and then writes down again, do you want me to take you to the nurse? And she said, maybe that will be good. As Deku picks up Uraraka from Ida and almost walks away to the nurse, aka Recovery Girl, until Recovery Girl shows up and says, Hey, young man, don't you dare take her away. I need to hear her first. I have no clue what I said. Basically, that was the best old accent I could ever do. Recover Girl heals Uraraka. Deku says good and he starts walking away, eventually teleporting back home. But the thing that weirded out people is how the necklace that Deku had on his neck moved, shimmer in the light. It was like a clear orb of some kind. And the way that Deku moved the matter in the dirt that he found into a sword or a knife kind of spooked them a bit. I'm gonna go to the day of UA. Well, his mom, actually no, the letter. Sorry, I skipped a little bit to it. Deku's in his room like working on a small project of his, and the thing that Deku does to help out with his mother is making jewelry with epoxy. If you ever want to know how it looks like, just look up resin epoxy making, resin jewelry, and you'll see a lot of designs and everything, and they look beautiful. The ones I saw, it was either necklaces, rings, and I could not find the people again, which made me sad. But their stuff is beautiful. I saw one on sale and I could not get it. It was already sold. And it was beautiful. Deku, how his room looks like basically amazing. It was covered in like a jewel, like kind of like a jewel room, but you could tell that Deku makes these jewels himself. It looks beautiful. The way that the light shows from the jewels that were hanging from the ceiling makes the room feel so much brighter, so much colorful, and it feels so gentle for some reason. Deku feels like happy until his mother bursts into his room saying, Izuku, it's here. And Deku literally jumps from his making. He was making a necklace for his mother for her birthday that was coming up before the day of UA. So Deku eventually did cut his hand because he was using a power drill. Well, not a drill. It was a miniature saw, and it did cut his finger. And Deku did eventually hide his cut, the saw, and the jewelry that's what he was making. It was supposed to be a necklace or a ring. And it looked really beautiful. Sorry if I'm yelling. It was beautiful. And Deku did say, hey, and Inko said, yes, it's here. Here you go. I'll be waiting outside. Deku eventually took out the bandages from his little bandage cubby and placed it on his finger. And he opened up the letter saying, Izuku, and a little disc popped out. Sorry. Then he sees a hologram pop up of All Might saying, Izuku Midoriya, the Enderman human hybrid. I have to congratulate you on getting into UA. You have earned the 3rd place rank of students, and you are going into, and he opens the letter even more, finding a room number, class 1A. Before anything else starts, Inko did get her birthday wish, and well, not her birthday wish. She was just happy that Izuku got in, and that was the best thing for her. She didn't care for anything fancy or anything. She was just happy to be there for her son, and she knows that her husband in the afterlife is doing well and seeing over them. So, bada boom, Deku goes into UA after giving his mother the present that he made, which was a necklace and a ring. And Iko was happy and gave her son a hug, saying thank you, but you should go to school now. You do not want to be late on your first day. And Deku says, And Deku literally does a little command pose and says, "Alright," because Inko is now the boss of the house. Well, Inko is the boss of the house. And Deku teleports to school. Oh shoot, this is enough.